All right. It is 11 a.m. Central Time. Let's go ahead and get started. Thank you, everyone showed up early and on time. Today, of course, we'll be talking about marketing your holiday lighting business, both for residential and commercial jobs. So whether you don't know anything about the install business and you're just looking to get started with your residential jobs for your first season, or you're 5 years into this, 10 years into this, and want to start landing those larger commercial jobs, today Certified Lights and Red Sleigh Workshop are teaming up to kind of bring you some tips from the industry. So let's go ahead and get started. Uh, First, we'll just go over some intros, then I'll cover the residential portion, and then Stacy will cover the commercial marketing portion. And of course, we'll have a Q&A at the end where you can ask questions about anything we covered or anything else that you might want to know about the business. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get started. So who are we? Certified Lights, I'll start, and then Stacy, you can introduce yourself, and then Red Sleigh. So my name is Mateo Young. I am the Director of Business Development at Certified Lights. We run essentially three different companies within the Certified Lights brand. One is a manufacturing distribution company, one is a training and support company, and the other is a residential and commercial installation company. So I'll start with the last one first. The installation company has been around for about 20 years in the DFW area. Last year we did about 1.8 million in revenue for the install season, and we've been doing that consecutively for a good number of years now. Primarily, we stick to the DFW area, but we do expand if it's a larger commercial job or something along those lines. So we have plenty of experience with every aspect of both the commercial and residential side of the install for this holiday light market. On top of that, we also manufacture and distribute our products. So all the products that we use for our very high-end installation clients, we also manufacture them. This helps us keep costs down, and that allows us to create a distribution and training and support branch as well. So on top of the manufacturing, we also train and support installers that are new or experienced in this business with all of our expertise and all of our industry relationships. We're able to create our partnership program. So we both run a training and a support side for this business. So we'll train you on every aspect from operations and sales and marketing, everything that you need to know to actually run the business. And then we actually also teach you all of the field portion as well. So we'll teach you how to do proper installs, how to do proper takedowns, how to set up processes, outfit your vehicles, and really anything else that you might need to know. We've trained over 400 partners at this point all around the US. So we're also very familiar with different types of markets, whether you're in the North or in the South or East or West. We're familiar with it all. So that's essentially who we are. We train, we distribute, manufacture, and we install. And we're here to host these kinds of events, these kinds of webinars, to share the knowledge and hopefully get you into the business as well. All right, Stacy.
All right. Hi, everybody. I'm Stacy Jordan. And if you don't know me yet, I am the founder and CEO of Red Sleigh Workshop. And what Red Sleigh Workshop is, I've been in the commercial Christmas industry for over 20 years. And what I'm doing now with Red Sleigh Workshop, with my business partner, Patrick Russell, we help and installers become Christmas operators by helping them break into the commercial market and landing big projects that most of them don't even realize exist in their local area. So that's what we do. After being in this industry for so long, I saw that need and I wanted to fill that gap. So here I am doing that. And you can find all of our information, all of our fun videos and everything on all the socials. So I have them all listed there. And that's what we do. We have trainings, we have one-on-one consultations, and we love working with Certified Lights because Certified Lights helps the residential installers grow their residential business, and I help them get to that next level in the commercial side. So that's me. That's us. So
Great. And then
And so this is a little bit more about us here. So we're coming from the commercial side. a lot of times, the biggest question I get first is how do you find the commercial clients? And then the next question is how do you price the projects? So from the sales strategy to the hands-on training, we help holiday decor companies deliver those commercial contracts. And just yesterday, it was really fun. I had a client of mine that I met 5 years ago, actually at the trade show we're going to be at next week. We met up at Transworld. He messaged me that he just won a $425,000 project just yesterday that we were working on together. So I was so excited about that, right? So those projects are out there. They're waiting for these installers to go grab them. And I'm here to help figure out how to do that, how to get your business to that next level. So we do that through our training, through our partnerships with vendors, and also through our just consulting work. And anyway, that's what we do at Red Sleigh Workshop.
Awesome. Congratulations.
Thank you.
That's
I'm excited.
amazing.
I'm super
Yeah.
stoked.
Well, with that said, those are the intros. That's who we are. Let's go ahead and jump into the bulk of the presentation. So let's jump into residential marketing. So
I have a
as
real
you,
a quick question though, Mateo, before
yeah,
we start.
of course.
People are people asking questions on the chat or anything? Because I don't see that part. Or do we have, is it
Not
interactive at
yet.
all?
Yeah, yeah, of
But they
course.
can. Okay.
Yes. So
Okay.
you can, anyone listen, you can definitely send in your questions down. We can answer them as we go. And there will also be a dedicated Q&A portion at the end once we get through the residential and commercial marketing tips. So if
Oh,
you
okay,
have
cool.
questions, yeah. So if you have questions now, go ahead and send them in and we'll get to them. And then of course we'll have a proper space as well at the end for anyone who wants to
Awesome. Yeah, because we have
ask
a lot of
questions.
people here watching us live. So if you have anything that comes up that, I mean, anything at all for me, feel free to like jump in and ask the question on the chat. I'm happy to attempt to help answer it. We'll see.
Yeah, please do.
Thanks.
Yes. So the more interactive, the better. These webinars are for you guys, so please get as much as you can out of it. Yes, so this webinar is being recorded. I'll be posting it on the Certified Lights YouTube page, and I'll also send out a link to all the registrants, so you can go back and rewatch it whenever you'd like.
And also, just for your reference as well, we're going to be talking about how you can schedule a 15-minute appointment with me one-on-one. That's a free consultation as well. So if you have more one-on-one questions for me after this, you can definitely do that. And I'll give you the link for that as well.
Great. Yeah, we'll have our emails here listed towards the end. Okay, so let's jump into residential marketing. So as you heard, Certified has been around the DFW area for 20 years now. We're going into our 20th season, and we know quite a bit about how to actually land these proper jobs and keep the clients that we land. Now, it's very difficult to kind of have an overview of the residential marketing space because there's so much that goes into it. During our in-person classes, we spend a couple hours just on this portion. So I wanted to kind of give you some tips that you can definitely use, but also to kind of give you some ways to think about how to go about marketing. This isn't a here's what you need to do, go do it. Here's how to start thinking about your residential marketing and how to go about adapting it to your specific market, because every market is different. Although it's a niche industry and it's fairly similar, the more you get specific with your market, the better off you're going to be. So that's a perfect segue into kind of my first point here is a regional specific calendar. Generally, I recommend starting in late quarter 3 with your marketing campaigns, whether that's digital or print out. That's really your choice to make. A lot of first-time installers kind of make the mistake, I'll call it a mistake, of just doing digital marketing. So they'll spend $5,000 on Facebook ads. They'll spend $5,000 on email ads when they really should be kind of catching their current market right now with Facebook and digital ads. You kind of I like the metaphor of a billboard. You can pay $5,000 for a billboard and everybody will see it, but it's a very low chance that a very low percentage of the people that sees it will actually be your client. So when you market on Facebook, it's a very similar thing. You're going to be buying the billboard. Everyone's going to see it, but most people aren't going to be your client. So that's why you want to get to know your market and the clients that you want to be your client. And if you use those $5,000 on your residential marketing spend on printout and targeted zip code ads, you're going to be much better off. Uh, and for that, I'd start around quarter 3. The kind of magic uh, marketing campaign for residential is yard signs. No matter the market, no matter if it's super affluent or more kind of middle class, it's it's something that tends to work in every market I've seen with the hundreds of installers that we've trained and our own. If you've been looking during the winter season, you can see that the yard signs really start popping up around October, some even August if they want to get an early head start. But I would recommend starting around late quarter 3. And then just like this bell curve shows right here, if you start mid to late quarter 3 and you start trickling the spend to maximize to peak kind of at middle of October, middle of November, sometime between that month uh, range, that's when you're going to start landing those residential jobs. You also have to know where to place these kind of yard signs, where you have to know where to send the postcards and the flyers. And that's the kind of research that you need to do. If you can find the affluent zip codes in your area, that's what we did. And that's how it worked for us. So we selected maybe 4 or 5 different zip codes in the DFW area when we were first starting, and we only targeted those zip codes. But we didn't just hit them once or twice or 5 times. The magic number people say is 8 times. So when you get in front of someone 8 times, they'll kind of start recognizing your brand, start recognizing what you do. And then when the time comes when their kids start asking about Christmas lights, or their wife or their husband starts talking about Christmas lights, they'll have a vague memory of your brand. And then the next time they see your postcard, they'll give you a call or the flyer or the yard sign. So it's really all about repetition in the uh, same area, and staying consistent, following up with your with anybody that calls, follow up with them, keep their number stored, keep their email stored. But that's a very high level marketing spend calendar. Of course, it's different for every market. If you live in a smaller city, you're not probably not going to want to start marketing around August. You might want to start marketing around late October. If you live in a larger city like DFW or LA or uh, anywhere else, you are going to want to start marketing earlier. So we start in August. Our first install of the year is always October 1st for lights. So by that point, we already have all our customers signed up. So we have done our marketing in August and kind of and started around then. So that's kind of what I would recommend. Of course, again, this is a very general marketing calendar, but if you kind of follow this and then try to adapt it, like I said, to your market, know when your target clients are going to want to start spending money, know when the first cold front is in your area. Oftentimes, it can be middle of October in a big city, and nobody's thinking about Christmas because it's still warm. This happened last year for some of our partners. So people are kind of scratching their heads thinking about what to do, but it's really just the weather. As soon as the first cold front hits, whether it's late October or late August, uh, people are going to start thinking about Christmas lights. So keep that in mind as well with the weather. That usually signals Christmas is coming. Uh, so that's kind of the regional specific calendar. The second part, second kind of high level tip is the low hanging fruit. There are 3 different low hanging fruit, I would say, that you can use to boost the sales closures that you have. So the first one is incentive programs. If you already run, uh, if your marketing campaigns are working well, but maybe you just can't get them to close, or maybe you have a few closed already and you want to kind of leverage those close the jobs that have already closed, you can run incentive programs. And this is one that I highly recommend because it costs you very little in comparison to what a regular customer acquisition cost would be. So if you spend let's call it $500 to acquire one customer, and then you give them a 10% discount if they have a successful referral, that might cost you $200 to to get that second client, whereas instead of spending $500 to get another client, if that math kind of makes sense for you. So incentive programs are a great way to boost your brand recognition and to land more jobs through the jobs that you have already landed. And some examples of incentive programs are listed here. So discounts on multi-year contracts, discounts on add-ons. So later on in the year, we'll have a sales webinar as well, and I'll cover a whole portion of upselling techniques that you can use. And that's partially one of the incentive programs is discounting upselling products. Another one is referrals, like I mentioned. So there's tons of ways that you can get creative without spending a lot of money that have proven that are ways that have been effective in the past for us and for other installers. Another point in the low-hanging fruit is existing clients. So a lot of you are adding this to your business or already have a main business, whether it's lawn care or window washing or pest control or whatever it might be. You already have your own business, and that's fantastic. Some people have a hard time kind of making the connection between the assets and the client bases and all that you already have with this new company that you're trying to start if you are a new installer. But they kind of go hand in hand. You can use the trucks from your other business. You can use the client list for your other business. If you run a lawn care business, for example, you can leverage that list and market to them. That is free marketing to clients that already have your trust, to clients that already know you, know your brand, know your quality of work, and that will very likely sign up with you if you market to them. And so that's just another kind of low-hanging fruit that you can use to be creative, to lower your marketing costs, and to maximize the number of close rates that you have per marketing campaign. And then the last one, know your market. Well, I guess last but not least, there are several other low-hanging fruits, but these are just kind of a few examples on how to stay creative as you're going about marketing. Is to know your market. Like I said earlier, not everybody is your client. Not everybody should be your client. Us in the DFW area, we specifically target very high-end homes and very high-end commercial properties. If you are familiar with the Dallas area, there's a section, a region called Highland Park, and that's where some of the very affluent areas of Dallas are. So 5, 10, $40 million homes, and that's where we target. That's who we target. We aren't going to target the areas that we know are kind of lower range homes, maybe middle income level households, because that's just not who we want our customer to be. We charge a white glove service, turnkey service, and people pay a premium for that. And the people that can pay a premium for that are going to be the areas that are more affluent, that have these $10 million homes, even just $800,000 homes, depending on your market. So if you really know your market and have a specific section that you want to occupy within your install market, then you're going to do very well because you know exactly who your customers can be and kind of where they are in your area. And that gives you somewhere to market to. And then third is having more money for marketing. I know a lot of the struggles that early or install kind of younger install business face is having enough money to actually push for growth in the company and push for scaling in the company while still having to pay all the products for all the labor, for all the trucks, all the insurance, all the other overhead costs that you have. So Certified has developed a program that kind of helps you reduce all those other costs essentially and not have to really worry about your product cost, for example, which is kind of the number 2 most expensive expense that you're going to have, especially early on. So it's typically marketing and upfront product costs that get people that inhibit the most growth in this business. And Certified's product advancement program allows you to basically bypass the product costs until you start making cash flow. So this way you have more money for marketing and you don't have to spend money on the product up front before you've even sold jobs. So essentially the way this program works is you sign up for our partnership program and you meet with us and you tell us, hey, I have a goal of installing 40 homes this year, but I don't have the capital to, or maybe I have $10,000 to spend on product and marketing, but I want to spend those $10,000 on marketing instead of buying the product right now. So we'll say, great, no problem. You sign up for our partnership program. We've talked with you and we are willing to front you those 40 homes worth of products. So we'll just ship you those 40 homes worth of product. You pay zero down and 0% on interest and there's no interest on any of the product that we sent you. So then you have that product already in stock and you can spend those $10,000 on your marketing campaigns. So you can start really getting out there in your market, start selling and closing jobs and start installing jobs when the season comes and you already have the product to do that. Um, you start paying for the product as it says here in this little square in November. So that's well into the season, well into the time when you've already started installing and generating cash flow. So then that's kind of how you start paying for that product over 6 weeks. But this is just a program, one of the many programs that we've developed to help you scale and help you grow sustainably. A lot of people maybe would take out a loan or kind of would find some other ways to spend, to have more money to spend on marketing. But really, we think that's unnecessary. And if you use programs like this one and find ways to spend, to have more money available to spend on marketing, then you can just kind of get that boost, that extra boost that you need to scale in your region and really kind of dominate the market. So those are my 3 tips for residential: is making sure you know your market, have a proper calendar set up, and your proper and your marketing campaigns scheduled out. Use incentive programs, leverage existing client lists, leverage existing relationships you might have with businesses in the area or HOA homes or HOA groups, and then leverage programs like our product advancement program so you have even more money to spend when your time to market comes around. And now, Stacy will tell you a little bit about the commercial marketing aspect.
Yeah, just a little bit. I have a lot on that slide there.
Hey, just tell me when you want me to scroll.
That's great. Thank you so much. Yeah, thank you, Mateo. That was a lot of information. And thank you so much for talking about that residential points. Those are really great points to make. And, now it's time to talk about the part of the industry that changes the businesses, right? Once you get really, really solid in your residential market, now it's time to level up to the commercial Christmas market. And what most installers lose, why we lose commercial Christmas bids. I know I've lost lots of them. I've lost many of them, lost more than I've won in the bids. That's how it works, right? And so with cities, shopping centers, downtown districts, and hotels, they spend serious money on their holiday decor programs. But there's something that a lot of installers are surprised by is that most of the companies, we lose the bids not because commercial buyers don't want to work with you. It's because that they evaluate projects differently than the residential customers do, right? So residential clients are looking, they're choosing based on price or based on like the photos or your availability. But commercial clients are looking at things like proposal structure, safety plans, insurance, compliance, the timeline, storage, all those things that as a commercial installer, we're going to be providing for the clients. It's not about pricing it like a residential project, right? They're not just hiring someone to come and hang lights for them. And that's the difference. They're looking for professional partners who understand and deliver a public facing holiday program. And the reality is that many installers are going to lose the bids for specific reasons. The pricing projects like residential installs. Secondly, their proposal doesn't match the RFP, which is a request for proposal. Cities and property managers score proposals based on a very different format, and it's really specific. Third, they don't address the evaluation criteria, right? So if you're an installer and you don't address it, safety, insurance, service plans, those types of things, that matters just as much as the decor and the design, right? A lot of people get hung up on the design, they get hung up on the decorations, the pricing part of it, but a lot of times we're not positioning ourselves as partners for our clients, right? We're just going in and throwing a bid out there and not really understanding what they're asking for. So commercial buyers really want someone who understands the public spaces and can provide long-term solutions for their holiday programs, right? And that's when the strategy happens way earlier than even when the RFP comes out. So the commercial Christmas is a year-round type of business, right? Right now, we're bidding projects. We've been bidding projects since January. Some came out in December, right? For this year, I'm bidding projects for next year already. So it's kind of like it's not something that just goes away. Where a lot of residential companies are okay, we're going to work 90 days, then we're done, right? Like Mateo was talking about doing the Q3 advertising, right? Well, for commercial, we're out there trying to get these projects now. So, really understanding how commercial buyers make decisions is how we're going to win more commercial contracts. The strategy window is right now. So, it's not about hanging lights, but it's about the buying process, and that's what it's one thing at Red Slate Workshop we talk a lot about is that process of buying. So we'll go to the next slide about the commercial opportunity. And if you have questions, please put them in the in the chat. So, the commercial opportunity it exists in the US, it's huge, right? Well, all around the world, commercial Christmas is huge, but it's much bigger than most installers realize. So across the US, there's over 50,000 commercial properties decorating every single year. That's businesses like hotels, entertainment venues, commercial real estate developers, and on top of that, there's over 13,000 municipal holiday programs across the country. So the cities invest really heavy in holiday decor because it drives their tourism, their retail traffic, it brings in community engagement. It also brings in all the different people who want to come to the city to have their businesses there, right? So if the city is putting on a really great holiday program, more people are going to want to start businesses in that downtown area. They're going to want to stay there. They're going to want to continue to invest in their local community. And that's so important. And when you look at the large retail ownership groups, there are only 5 major companies that control hundreds of shopping centers, right? Thousands of them, right? And that's where tens of millions of dollars are spent every year for holiday, just holiday, right? So opportunity is already there. But the question is, are you positioning yourself as an installer to access that business or not? And that's one thing that we really try to help you figure out. If you want to do that or not, that's up to you. But I'm here to help you figure that out, right? So just the figures on the screen just highlight a small amount of what's really out there, but it's just to give you like a huge overview of it, right? There's so much business out there that in your local area, you can tap into a few of those projects. And a $50,000 project is worth X amount of houses, right? So Mateo was talking about, working with, $20,000 projects that are residential. That's great. But those are out there as well with commercial, right? And so one $20,000 to $50,000 project equals, $20,000 houses. So it's just, it makes sense if you have the crews and you have the availability to step into the commercial side, I want to help you figure that out. So we can go to the next slide. Thank you, Mateo.
Of course.
So the commercial Christmas opportunity map, where the big projects live. So um, when installers ask where the big commercial projects come from, the answer is usually pretty straightforward. It's usually 5 major categories. And the first is cities and municipalities. So downtown districts, Main Street programs, city parks, civic centers, those are the places that are waiting for you to provide the bid for them. Most of those places need to get multiple bids, RFPs every year or every time their contract comes up. So if you're not in it in your local cities, you're not going to know what's happening and you're going to be out of that availability to do that bid. The second location is shopping centers. So there's regional malls, there's lifestyle centers, outlet centers, and they all often have a very large holiday budget. The issue with that is a lot of people think in their minds, well, regional malls are going away. We've seen a lot of them change, right? They're not going away. They're just shifting, right? Just like our industry is changing, it's changing as well for the regional malls and the different type of brick and mortar type shops. They're moving away from just having stores and having interactive entertainment and immersive type venues. And so there's a huge opportunity for holiday and lighting installers to work with those places, even if it's not putting up a Christmas tree, right? There's a lot of other things we can do once we're in that commercial space. Third is entertainment and tourism. So when you're thinking theme parks and zoos and botanical gardens, it may seem overwhelming, but you can get in there and do a couple of small projects to start out, or just even know who they are and what they're doing in your area. One of my favorite things to do is during the holiday season, going to all the local places that are decorating and see what they're up to, see what they're doing. That way, you know what's happening around you. If this is your business, let's do it. Like let's go hang out and check it out. And that's how I see it. That's what I love to do. And then the fourth one is commercial real estate. So mixed use developments, corporate campuses. The project I started talking about at the beginning that was over a $400,000 project is a corporate campus, right? So that's a corporate campus that one of my clients booked, and they didn't even know what the budget was. They just we looked at the photos from the previous years and said, well, it looks like they have a couple 100,000, so let's just bid high, right? And so we did our best, and they got the job for a corporate campus, and that they're spending the money, right? Because they want to bring that they want to bring the environment up in their area, right? So the money's out there, it's being spent. And lastly, hospitality, right? So hotels, resorts, casinos, event venues, they invest heavily in holiday decor because they want to attract guests and they want to attract those events. So all of the buyers are actively decorating every year, but they're not going to go looking for you. They're not looking for installers. They expect vendors who understand that they're looking for that they're wanting a bid, right? They're looking for people who understand the process of RFPs, the commercial budgets, how to plan a decor program, and then also are able to offer multi-year contracts and options, right? So all of those things are things that we talk about during our trainings and consultations. But that's where the opportunity lives for installers who understand the commercial side of the industry. And there's Patrick inside the little tree there. That was a project in last year. That was, I think, a 26-foot tree or something like that. That was fun. But yeah, that's what it looks like inside a tree if you've never seen inside of a frame tree. All right. So let's see. Yeah, like I said, the buyers aren't actively they are actively accepting new vendors, but they're not looking for us, right? We have to go out there and find the business ourselves, right? That's how we get there is we can't just put out a Facebook ad and find a commercial client. You might be lucky and get that, but it's a whole different type of marketing. It really is. It comes down to like grassroots old school marketing, but also using the internet for what we have now. There's so much information that we can access. It's a matter of taking that information and using it wisely. And we teach how to do that really well in our classes. So just,
Yeah,
yeah.
a big portion of my role at Certified is trying to land these commercial jobs. So I've had experience now with marketing to residential, and now I'm very hands-on on marketing to these commercial properties. And it can be I totally understand that it can be daunting at first for people that are just starting to get out of the residential space, trying to dive into the commercial. Um, but once you understand the process, once you kind of build that confidence of the quality that you can give these properties, it's really quite simple to do all these bids. And then having our support, Red Sleigh and Certified Lights behind you, just makes you stand out even more because we know the like Stacy said, there's different ways that these commercial properties evaluate your RFP. So it might be that you've bid the lowest price, but they don't know your brand. They've never spoken with you. They don't have that relationship. And that comes into play as well. We've landed bids that we weren't the lowest bidder for, but they knew our brand, they knew our quality, they knew our customer service, they knew more about us. So it's all kind of judged differently. There's different percentages put on each of the different criteria that they have on RFP. And of course, that's a bit more uh, it's a bit more structured than what your residential job might look like. It could be that your residential customer kind of goes through all those checklists very quickly in their head, but there's not a formal way of actually proposing that to the residential client. For commercial, There is, and they have evaluation criteria that they'll sometimes even tell you how they're judging you. And if you know what to
Those are
put,
really fun.
yeah,
This
exactly.
is how we're going to judge you.
Exactly. And you kind of have to present yourself in a way that you think meets their criteria. And it's really not in no way should you lie on these RFPs, but you do have to kind of adapt to what they're asking for. So if you have the referrals behind you, if you have kind of the knowledge of how to position your qualifications to what they want, then you'll definitely land jobs easier than if you were to do it on your own.
Right. And I've been helping a lot of installers with that particular process. That's one of the biggest questions I get is what do we do with this RFP? What do we do with this bid that we're working on? Even if it's not a formal RFP and it's just them working with the client one-on-one, with their client one-on-one, it's a lot of times it's that confidence, right? It's that they don't
Right.
quite know all the ins and outs of what it's going to take to get the job done. So the installer is not as confident because they don't see themselves as an actual operator of the project. Yeah,
Right.
right. So it's a matter of leveling up from that installer mindset where, okay, I'm putting some lights up on a building to, okay, I'm going to put lights, wreaths, garlands, walkthrough elements,
Mhm.
a giant tree. We're going to hang something overhead, with structured engineered cabling, things like that. That may
Right.
seem really daunting, but if you just lay it out, we can get it all done. There's really smart people. There's engineers. There's people that we can hire. There's designers. I mean, there's so much out there in the industry. And people who are able to help that are willing to help with these projects because they're interested in, of course, earning your business as a vendor. They're going to help out, and it's not a matter of doing it all ourselves, right? We're not here to do
Right.
everything ourselves. We're here to collaborate together, and that's what I love. What Mateo's company does at Certified Lights is we're here to really help become partners, and with their partner program, it just helps so much to be able to help the installers elevate to that level of project management and operator and all of those things, and even winning a couple of smaller commercial jobs will just really will make you feel great about yourself and your business. So
Yeah.
but if you're not getting in front of them, you're never going to get the opportunity. So
Right. I know the founder of Certified Lights would, if you were here, I know with us in this webinar, I know he'd say you can kind of do all this research and do all these stuff, but at some point you just have to start. And that's why we're
yeah.
here. We have hundreds of partners, like I said, that call us during the season. They're on a roof somewhere and they're saying, hey, I can't get this bulb to stay on this roof, or I don't know how to screw this wreath onto the wall of this commercial property because I don't want to damage it. And they'll literally just FaceTime me. And that's what we bring to you. We're not saying you have to be expert and super knowledgeable about these things. It's just about getting started, having the confidence, and knowing that you have a support system behind you that has collectively over 40 years of experience in this industry, and is constantly adapting to the different trends, the different ways of doing things, different lighting technologies, and the different ways of bidding. And that that and that's why we're here, really. So key takeaways. Before I jump into this, Stacy, you kind of reminded me there's another aspect of the partnership program for particularly for residential marketing that I didn't mention, and it's that for your marketing campaigns, you have to make all the designs. You have to, if you're going to do digital marketing, you have to do all the digital marketing designs. If you're going to design postcards or flyers or emails or even call scripts, you have to do all that if you didn't have our support. But with the partnership program that we've developed, we've done all that for you already. So we have dozens and dozens of marketing templates, whether you want to do flyers or postcards or door hangers or Facebook ads or Instagram ads or call scripts or whatever. Any kind of marketing campaign, we've set up all the templates for you already, and we're constantly developing new ones. So all you have to do is plug in your logo, plug in your phone number, and that's a perfect way to save lots and lots of hours, time, and money um, on your marketing campaigns because we've done it all for you. So you can just literally
And is that in the
plug in and play.
partnership portal that you guys have? Okay. Mhm.
Yeah, that's right. So once you sign up to become a partner, you get access to our entire partnership portal where you get those marketing templates, you get those sales scripts, and you also get hours. I think, dozens of hours of install tutorial videos that are not hours long. They're 15-minute videos, 10-minute videos on how to properly wrap things, how to properly use roof safety equipment, how to properly outfit your vehicle. So a lot of the stuff that we go over in our in-person class and classroom portion is also in a video version on the portal. So you can teach your crew. That's a great way to, if you want to fly down to Dallas in September with your entire team, you can have them watch those videos. And it's not a direct replacement, but it's a very good option for residential installers.
Right. So
Um,
important. That's such a great thing that you guys put
yeah,
together.
yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
It's been very helpful. It's been very popular with the partners for sure.
Yeah. Red Sleigh Workshop's working on one for the commercial side as well. Since,
Nice.
we're a newer business, we don't have it all ready yet, but we're getting there. So
Yeah, we just got to
yeah.
dive in and then
hmm
figure it
Just got to
out.
start.
Yeah,
Just got to
exactly.
start.
So takeaways. I'll do the first two, and then Stacey, you can go with the latter two as well.
Sure. Yeah.
Um, so know your market. My biggest takeaways for the residential portion was to know your market. We can give you all of the kind of generic marketing calendars that you might want to do, the average marketing spend, the average marketing percentage spend that you should have out of your estimated projected revenue. Uh, but if you don't know your market, how your market actually responds, then it's not going to be as effective. Your campaigns are not going to be as effective. So if you know that your market is has a population of more younger homeowners, maybe younger families, then digital marketing might be a better way to go with them. If you know that it's kind of an older generation in your area, then traditional printout market, flyers, door to door even, is going to be more effective. And we can't tell you that. If you sign up for the partnership program, we do have one-on-one calls. Um, I think like four 30-minute one-on-one calls per month. So you can literally meet with us once a week the entire year. And that's one way that you can kind of leverage it. But uh, a key takeaway for this webinar is to do that research on your own, to really know your market, and then meet with us to kind of learn the other techniques as well. And then to use your money wisely. If you leverage programs like our product advancement program, you can make your dollar per marketing spend go so much further than if you didn't have us behind you. Because instead of spending $1 on marketing and $1 on product, you can spend $2 on marketing and zero on products. So you literally 2x your marketing spend to land more jobs. And then you're going to get to that level of residential confidence to where you can actually go into the commercial job. So that's, I think, Stacey, this is something that we didn't say explicitly, but typically the journey for an installer is to start with residential and to go to commercial after residential. So you build your quality, you build your confidence, and then you build your reputation as well. A lot of the, would you agree that a lot of the commercial jobs kind of go off of reputation and word of mouth and people talk in the industry? It's a niche industry and it's nationwide, but people know each other.
Yeah, as large as this industry is, it's really small when it comes down to
Yeah,
it, right? The
right.
players are all, we all know each other in this industry. And it really does start out that way. I didn't start in a residential business. I started out straight commercial because that's the company
Nice.
that I
Okay.
worked for.
Okay.
But people who were building their own companies, that they usually start with the residential, move into commercial. So it's the residential, getting your all your systems down. And especially if you have another company as well, say you're a pest control guy or you have a electrical company or whatever you're already doing, and you have these clients already in your market, you move into the to Christmas lighting to add on to your business, then you just go from play, level up
Right.
that way. And it can be really quick. Some people, like the company I worked for, they did residential for 1 year, went to commercial and never looked back. And that was 30 years ago, right? So that's how they did it. But it really just depends on a lot of things, variables about about you as a business owner operator, about what your goals are. Right. And that's one thing
Right.
that I really like to talk to the one-on-one consultations I have is what do you really want to do? Where do you see yourself? Right. Because if you don't have a vision for your company, then we're not going to get anywhere. Right. And if that vision starts with I want to make 500,000 in residential and 500,000 in commercial, we'll help you get there. It's just a matter of you got to know like where to start. You got to
Know
start
your
somewhere.
goals.
Yeah, got to start with goals. Yeah.
For
Mhm.
sure. When we do our uh, in-person training, that's a big portion of my presentation as well is know your goals. Like, yeah, we can tell you all these marketing things, but what is your end goal? Are you trying to get to $1 million in residential? We have some installers
Hmm.
that just want to get to 200, 300,000 to get through the season to
Right.
have enough money to pay their employees and not have to lay anyone off and then go back into their main business. So it's everyone's in this business for a different reason. Sure, we're all in it to make money, but really it's a bit deeper than that for a lot of people. So if you
Right.
really
Some
know what
people just
you're
want to work a couple months out of the year, and that's fine too.
exactly, yeah,
That's up to them.
we have a partner that does, I think 600,000 in southern Texas, and that's all he does. And then just kind of lives off that with his family for
Just
the
chills
rest of
out
the
the rest
year.
of the year. It's a
Exactly.
lifestyle.
And
Hmm.
that's a truly seasonal company. But if you start going commercial, just like this first takeaway for you, it starts becoming a full year, right?
It's true. Yeah. So we have a question. Edward asked, how many years residential should we anticipate before we can move to commercial? What would be a good realistic goal? I just answered that. Like it really depends on you and your company and what your goals are. Like I said, the company that I was with for 17 years, they started out with residential just one season, went to commercial the next one because they already had crews and project managers and ideas and customers, right? They were ready to go and they built it along the way. So it really depends on you and your business. And I'd love to sit down with you and sit down in a 50-minute conversation and talk about that in person, over Google Meet, Edward, if you wanted to talk more about that. It just depends on your company, but you could do it first year even too. Some people do. So that's the
Yeah,
answer.
that would be exactly my answer as well. It depends on your market, it depends on your experience, your
Mm-hmm.
confidence. One thing I will say that I've seen is as people start to get into commercial projects, they start to think about instead of going toward the malls or towards the kind of larger real estate, whether it's zoos or botanical gardens or hotels, they'll start like smaller commercial, so like residential neighborhoods, HOA communities,
Mm-hmm.
small shopping centers. And if you start that way, that's fantastic. But what I said earlier also applies here. Everybody knows each other. So all of the HOA people in your city, they're all part of the same association. So if you do a
Right.
really good job with one of them over 1 year, 2 years, they're going to start to hear about you. And the same thing goes for the inverse. If you don't do a good job, if you mess up, if you don't respond to their calls, if you don't fix whatever problems might happen during the season with lights, they're also going to find out. And that's kind of why we say maybe start first first year, second year, maybe even third year with residential once so you can really get those techniques down and not just techniques, but the customer service quality. Once you get your customer service quality, in our opinion, up, then you're ready for commercial. We'll teach you everything you need to know about the techniques of installs and wrapping things properly and all that, but we can't teach you how to be a good customer service. That just takes
Right.
practice. You have to it just takes drive and discipline to be able to take a phone call at 8 p.m. on a Friday night when you're with your family from a very important commercial job and say, yes, I'll be there in the morning, or I'll be there right now if it's a 80,000, $100,000 job. Um, we can't teach you that. We can tell you that you need to know that, but but there are certain things that you have to just put into practice, and you kind of will know when you're ready. But if you feel like you're ready, then yeah, it's do you want to go with your
Oh
your
yeah. So
takeaways?
I'll talk about the takeaways for sure. So just like he said, knowing your market's so important. When you're talking about commercial as well, I'm going to just talk about that for a second. Like, you want to know who's in your area, what cities are decorating, what commercial properties are decorating around you. My friend Ashley from One Love Social, she always says like to be 5 mile famous for your social media. I'm like for commercial Christmas installers, be 50 mile famous, right? Know what's happening 50 miles around your area. Know what every city is doing, what every shopping center is doing. Just get that, just to see it, visually see it during the season, and then start to reach out to those folks because that knowing your market is how you're going to win your market, right? And know your competition. That's really important too. Know who's out there. And you may need each other. So get to know each other because even though you're in the same industry, you're going to see each other at trade shows, you're going to see each other at bid walks, especially if you start doing city jobs, you're all there, right? So just know your market. Secondly, using your marketing dollars wisely. Mateo talked about that as well. Leverage the programs from Certified, leverage the programs from other vendors. If you have other vendors you're working with, ask them to help you, right? A lot of them have training programs, a lot of them have people, reps who will walk you through how to use the product. Like just use the vendors, use the programs that are available for you, and spend your dollars wisely. Cash flow is really important, but we have to invest in marketing. We have to invest in ourselves, right? For me, when I was working as a sales rep, an account executive, it was probably year 10 or so in the industry. I invested in myself. I spent out of pocket $5,000 for sales training. I went to a bunch of events on my own. The company didn't pay for it, right? So I invested all this money out of my pocket. Being like a single mom of these little girls that I was with at the time, like they were teenagers, and I just had my third child, and I was like, wow, I have to really invest in myself to level up. And so investing in your business, investing in yourself, using your money to grow, it's really important to do that early in the season, right? Third, if you're going to commercial, you want to go early. So landing commercial clients, start prospecting now. It's not coming in October. The companies that are winning these contracts are bidding, building those relationships now and bidding now, right? And it's months before the residential rush begins. So you're doing that now before residential kicks in. Um, and then the last thing is to lead with value. So commercial clients aren't just buying lights, like I said earlier, they're buying a holiday experience, right? So your job as the owner and as or if your salesperson is their job is to help your client visualize that experience, what it could look like for their property, for their city, for their location. And that's how you're really going to separate yourself from just the average person putting up lights. You're valuable. And if you're confident, you're going to lead with that and you'll get more projects.
And those last two go perfectly hand in hand with residential as well. Last year, I had some partners kind of kick themselves because they started too late. They thought,
Right.
okay, I'm just going to start marketing late November and kind of see what happens. And
Mm-mm.
that's too late. Even for residential, that's way too late. At that point, if you do start marketing too late, and I'm sure this applies for commercial as well, you're going to get the clients, the residential customers that are just looking to spend a couple $100 for 2 weeks of lights, 3 weeks of lights. And that's not, that goes back to knowing who your client is, knowing who you want your client to be. If you want to land, we have a residential client that pays 40 something thousand, let's round it up to 50,000. Um, and his lights are for 2 or 3 months because they want to get the money's worth out of it. They don't just want to see those, they don't want to spend 50,000 on lights and have it up for 2 weeks even though they have that they're a very wealthy client, they're smart with their money. Wealthy people are smart with their money. So they're going to be signing these larger jobs early in the season, whether it's commercial or residential. So that goes perfectly hand in hand with the marketing, with the residential marketing as well.
Definitely. And we have another question in the chat. Thank you so much,
Yeah.
Daniel, for asking this question. It says, do you have any tips on how to get in front of property managers and decision makers for city and commercial jobs? Do you see value in using tools such as LinkedIn and community Facebook groups to find their information? Um, so I'll answer that for you. Yes, I have lots of tips on how to do that. And yes, LinkedIn is a great tool. It's an amazing tool. There's also one, I think it's called Wiza. And then there's a couple other ones that are out there right now that help you find information. It is, once you start looking, I mean, I guess I would talk about the industry first, right? So which industry you're looking for, whether it's a shopping center or a city. For
Right.
me, when it comes to like a shopping center, it's the property manager. You can easily most of those places have phone numbers you can call. You just go to their website, you find the phone number, you call them up, you ask the receptionist if they even answer. But they're there Monday through Friday, normally from 8 to 5, right? There's somebody answering the phone, and you call the office of that shopping center. The larger ones have people there all day, and you just ask them for the marketing manager or for the general manager. And I call as if they know me.
Yeah.
right? A lot of times I can find online on LinkedIn who the general manager is. And if it's like, say the general manager was Mateo Young, he's the general manager of ABC Shopping Center, right? I call up a shopping center. Hey, is Mateo there? Reception will be like,
Yeah.
oh, Mateo. Yeah. Okay. Maybe the seat. Oh, who's calling? Oh, this is Stacy from Red Sleigh Workshop. They'll probably put me through. Sometimes they
Yeah.
won't. But even if they don't, oh, Mateo's not available right now. Okay, great. Let me get his voicemail. Go to his voicemail, leave a message. Then I send an email off to him. Hey, just left you a message. So I mean, it's a matter of just being confident. It really is. It's a lot of cold calling. Nobody wants to hear that,
A
but it's
lot of
cold
cold calling.
calling. And one of my partners in the business, we actually had her start a commercial Christmas calling company. So we have somebody that we can refer you off to now. If you're looking for someone to do that business for you, I can help you with that as well. I'm trying to build these different levels of what are these business owners needing and how can we help them? And that's one of them is a lot of the outbound calling that has to happen or the cold calling to find the right person. That takes a person doing that, right?
Yeah.
The computer can only do so much, right? And we can get partially there, but then we have to get in the door. And anyway, I do have a partner for that. If you're interested in getting that information, we can talk about that later. But for cities, there are systems that are out there that collect RFPs for you, which is requests for proposals. At once they're released into the world on the internet, they're released to everybody. And so if you can catch them soon enough, you can bid on them. But if you don't know they're out there, you're not going to see them. So there's a company that I use. I don't get any kickback from this company, but it's called Bid Prime and they're expensive. I'm not going to say that they're inexpensive. They're expensive. And that's a company that you can request to get those bids sent to your inbox and you pay them a fee and they find those bids for you in your local area. I think you can get up to like 3 states is what they give you. And that's how I work for the cities. Or if you don't want to pay the money, you can have your assistant or you can go in yourself to your local city websites and go to the vendor registration and register as a vendor on their site. They're going to ask you for things like your EIN number. You may have to get a city business license, things like that. But every city is different. Every city has a different way of working with vendors, but they all have it on their website. So I would say go to your 50-mile radius, start working one at a time and get going. It's a lot of work to do it, but once you do it, and if you have a database set up specifically for commercial Christmas, you can keep track of it and you can start building that business in your area. And that's one thing we talk about, of course, at the training and the one-on-one conversations that I have with my clients. So
Yeah, those are very, very good tips. I would agree with all of that as well. I do a lot of LinkedIn outreach. Like you said, it's a lot of cold calling, it's a lot of organization, it's a lot of
yeah,
following up. And you're going to get to a point where you've reached out to hundreds of people and you need to know who you've reached out to because you're going to need to know who you need to follow up with.
mm-hmm.
And it's not going to be sometimes it's not the fourth or fifth touch point, but it's going to be the eighth or ninth email that you send that's going to
Right.
get them to reply. And if you don't remember, I mean, you're not going to remember the
No.
person number 76, email number 8.
Mm-mm.
So you have to have a very good organization.
Yeah, it's
One
really a
tip,
numbers game. It is a numbers
yeah,
game.
it is. Another way I'm able to get into in front of property managers and find decision makers is in-person networking and chat GBT. Those are kind of two distinct categories there, but in-person networking, if you go, for example, for our installation, and sorry, it's getting a bit dark here. I'm actually in Europe right now. It's the
Like you're all
evening
of a
time.
sudden getting darker and
I
darker.
know. Yeah, sorry about that. But I hope you
What
can
time is
still
it
hear
where
me
you're
okay.
at right now in Europe?
It is about to be 7. No, Edward, yeah, it's definitely evening time here. It's almost 7 p.m. here. Um, but in-person networking is great. For our installation company, we started venturing into the commercial jobs in DFW by joining HOA organizations,
Right.
CAI organizations. So there are these different organizations. They're both nationwide and local that have chapters locally
What is
or
a
that are
CAI?
the CAI. That's a great question. It's I don't remember the acronym, but it is for property managers.
Like community association, something or other,
Yeah,
probably.
let's
Yeah.
call it community association.
Those are the
I
types of places you want to go. You got to hang out where the people are at. That's what I always say. Go
exactly,
hang out with them. Join your chamber of commerce. Become your local
exactly.
business owner. Like get out there, be the face of your business. Be the face of your business because it's important that you are.
Yeah, they'll have
Mhm.
luncheons, they'll have
Yep.
breakfast, they'll have speakers, and you can sponsor those.
Sponsorships.
You
Yeah.
can be
Uh-huh.
a speaker. Exactly.
Yep.
You can be one of the speakers there. You can have your logo big up front if you sponsor a lunch, and it's going to cost
Mhm.
you $300, but you're going to have your big logo there in
Yep.
front of all these property managers, in front of all these HOA managers. So that's one way. In person networking, it's going to take some time. It might take a little bit of money, but that's how you build your reputation in your market specifically. And then I also mentioned Chat GPT. So sometimes what I'll do is you can set up daily kind of repetitive tasks for your Chat GPT. So one of the things I have set up is every day at 9 a.m. scan for open RFPs that are looking for installs in this area. And every morning I'll get at 9 a.m. I'll get an email. No new RFPs found today. Or here's the 5 or 10 new RFPs that I found this morning that relate to your criteria. So if you are creative, resourceful, and leverage the different technologies at your disposal, and also integrate old school in-person kind of networking techniques, uh, you can kind of really leverage these different techniques to get in front of those decision makers. Um,
Yeah. I mean, old school grassroots marketing, that's
Still
still
works.
still
It's
works because
the way
with
to
with
do
the
it.
high technology, low touch society that we're in, when you get in front of somebody, it really makes a difference. I sent to Mateo the message somebody asked about, well, actually, there's two more questions before we
Yeah.
move on. Um, Ken asked, do you help create a proposal tailored to a specific RFP? I do. I do. We do have charges for that. Obviously, it depends on what you need, the level of help that you need, but we have rates for that. And definitely happy to help you. Do that. We have a designer on staff with Red Sleigh Workshop that I've been working with for the past 17 years. I think it's 18 years now. I want to say it's 18 that will help with that as well. If you need design work or products, things like that. We work really closely with Certified Lights for some of the products, but I also have a network of vendors I work with as well for other things that you might need. I put in the chat. I told you that Mateo did it. He just put it in there. Christmascallers.com. And that is my friend Lindsay's company that is does outbound calling for you if you're looking for the help with that. Happy to help you connect with her. And
And we also help you with RFP, both residential and commercial. So if you when you sign up for our partnership program, like I mentioned, you get those free calls included, and that's for literally anything. If you need help setting up your marketing campaigns, if you need help setting up your sales processes, if you need like I said, literally anything you need help with the business, you can give us a call. We've had partners literally use the exact same template we use to send to our commercial clients, and it works for them. They close sales. So we can help you. We really can help you. All you got to do is reach out to us. Our my email's there. Stacy's email's there. Um, really, we're here to help you, and we want to help you. You just have to show us that you want it as well. You know. But yeah,
right.
Ken,
So
we can both definitely help with that.
definitely. So I guess it's the time for Q&As now. We just answered a couple of them, but if there's any more
Yeah.
questions, feel free to
Yes.
put them in there.
That
So
is
part of
the
the questions that we've had so far is exactly why I started Red Sleigh Workshop, right? After the 2 decades of dealing with this and dealing with all these different projects in this industry, there's so many incredibly talented installers out there that just aren't sure how to move forward, right? And they were never taught that commercial side of the industry. And I love to bridge that gap and help installation companies just really build that strategy and the systems and the confidence and offering the training programs that we have, also the certified lights training programs that they have, like those are great too. But providing that commercial expansion strategy is what really help accelerate your growth. So I put I sent to Mateo the link to set a 15-minute appointment with me. I'm going to
Oh,
be at
yeah.
Transworld next week. So my whole calendar is booked, but you can always email me and I can call you directly. But my calendar is booked up. I have it all blocked off until next week because I'm going to be at the Transworld show. I'm the week after next, actually. So anyway, but besides that, we are hosting in-person training events and workshops. And we talk about all of this stuff. Where do you find commercial opportunities? How to actually sell to cities and shopping centers, how to structure proposals, how to position your company to be the local, winner in these and how to build those long-term multi-year relationships. Like that's the goal, right? And it's Mateo said it, like it's not a one and done thing. Like it's you're playing the long game here. Like it's not going to be instant thing. Sometimes it is, it'll be instant. Sometimes you get really great wins, but it really is going to take time to build that reputation, to build that database of clients, to build your industry specific reaches in your area, right? So it does take time.
And same thing for residential. You can sign just kind of 1 year contracts, but if you start signing those 3, 5 year contracts, one, not only do you guarantee kind of ongoing income and customer retention, but you start to build those relationships. And then those people, like for example, I can't say the name, but we started in Saudi.
Don't say the name.
I can't say the, we started on a very well-known sports player's house. And because we did a good job and over maybe 2 years of doing that job, he recommended us to another one and then another one and then an owner of one of the sports teams. And then just kind of snowballs if you do it properly and kind of stay on top of your networking and customer service, that's what I'm looking for. Then yeah, it'll work. Just have to stay consistent.
Definitely. So please put your questions in the chat if you have any more questions. I'm just going to go over real quick where you can find me coming up next week. I'm going to be at the Transworld Show in St. Louis. March 25th, we have a commercial Christmas 1-day class. If you're already going to the Transworld Christmas Show, you can get a ticket for my class for $300. If you're not going yet and you need a ticket to the show and you want to go to the other series that we're doing, 12 classes is it's the lit series of classes, you can get a ticket online. It's $625, but that includes a ticket to my class, a ticket to the show, and the ticket to the 12 classes. So it's like a great deal. And that would be next week, Wednesday through Sunday is the trade show. So it's a long trip, but it's going to be
Yeah.
amazing. And so we'll be there. I'll be there from Tuesday till Monday. So that's where we'll be next. We have a 1-day class coming up. Oh, we have a 2-day class coming up in May 7th and 8th here in San Antonio, Texas. And that's a commercial Christmas intensive class where we go through a lot and we have a hands-on portion of it as well. And our friends at Certified Lights come down and talk about safety and putting projects together. So it's exciting to do that hands-on portion. We actually put together products and we help you to understand like how simple it can be to work on some of these larger projects. We also have a 1-day coming up in June in Bozeman, Montana. So if you guys want to go to Bozeman, Montana for any reason, I heard that's like the happening spot. We have a 1-day class June 13th in person. I think it's just a few $100s. I have to go to the website to look at it, but when we have another 2-day class in June 18th and 19th here in San Antonio, Texas. And then we have a 1-day in person with Certified Lights in September 5th. So that's happening too. That's all available at redslayworkshop.com. Everything I just said is there, but you can also email me. We can make an appointment. I can talk to you anyway. You can go on social media and message me on there too. We're active in all those spots. So happy to help you out in all those places. That's my
Great.
speech.
And same thing for certified. We have a little bit, we'll be at lots of trade shows this year, but as far as trainings go, we have our next 2-day training in September. So we typically only do 2 2-day trainings per year. Last year we did 3 because the demand was very high. I kind of see this year being a high demand year as well. So we'll probably have more than just one in September. But that's our next one kind of for installers. We will also be at the Trans World Trade Show right next to Stacy's booth.
Yep.
We will
We're right
have kind
there.
of a big booth all together there. Um, and then in the meantime, please feel free to reach out to me. Mateo Young at certifiedlights.com is my email. I am happy to take a meeting, of course, free consultation with anyone here to talk about anything we covered here. And then I would also like to share a bit more about our partnership program. I know we mentioned quite a bit of it just kind of here and there, but more specifics about pricing. So a lot of people ask about kind of what the pricing would look like. And we have two different tiers. One is a gold partnership and one is a silver partnership. The gold partnership is $39.95 per month, and you get access to everything. You get access to the online training portal, you get free field training, unlimited per year. You get the product advancement program, you get those 4 30-minute per month one-on-one calls with us, and so much more. The silver program is $19.95, so it's a bit cheaper, but you don't get as much. So for $40 a month, it's definitely worth what you get. And one kind of big point that I didn't mention is with the Gold Partnership Program, you get 20% off every single product every single time you place an order. So if you're looking to place like a big order for your 20 homes, for your 50 homes, for your 100 homes, you're kind of leaving money on the table if you don't sign up for this partnership program, because it's $480 per year, and you're going to save thousands with this program if you are serious about scaling your business. So don't leave money on the table. Please sign up. And if at any point before you sign up, you want to meet with me or anyone on the team, my email is right there, and we're happy to take a meeting. We do have another question. Where's the best place to learn about all the different trade shows? That's
Ooh,
a very good question.
email me,
Yeah.
Stacy at redslayworkshop.com, and I will help you. I'll set up a
It's
call with you.
I don't
I think
think
it's best just to
there's
call.
one I don't think there's like a tradeshows.com where everything is listed. You kind of have to know a bit about different industries. So for Trans
Right.
World, for some reason they still label it as a holiday lighting trade show. So it's kind of, or I'm sorry, as a Halloween trade show. So it's kind of the marketing they do is a lot of Halloween stuff,
And it
but a
is.
lot of Christmas companies show up there, like us, like Red Sleigh, and a lot of other large distributors.
Yeah.
And then you have your Christmas Expo trade show coming up in July.
In July.
So there's nowhere where that's kind of all in one place. So that's actually a great idea. But feel free to email either one of us, and we
Right.
can help you with that.
Yeah, so it depends on what you're looking to get it out of the show as well. So
Right, right,
some of the clients that I work with and I consult with, they go to particular shows where they actually have booths they're going to for their local parks and recreation shows. There's different home and garden
right.
shows people go to. It just depends on what your business is focused on and where you want to go and what your goals are. And that's really what we get down to. I have a 2 hour consultation that I do mainly when I start working with clients. That's $500. With this webinar, though, we have a coupon code, so I'll talk about that in a second. But $100 off is what we're giving for people who come to this webinar for the 2 hour consultation, and we go through your entire business and talk about like the gaps and what we can do first. And I give you like a 90-day roadmap on how to get to the commercial side of your business or how to upgrade what you're doing now. So feel free to reach out to me at stacy@redslayworkshop.com for that, and then we can talk about it. Um, and let's see who. Oh, Edward said, "Oh, I'm the key. Thank you, Edward. um, I love that, and I'm looking forward to seeing you guys at Transworld as well. So, let's
All
see.
right. Oh, sorry
Yeah.
about that.
All right.
So, next step. I don't know if there's any more questions. If there are, please feel free to keep sending them. I did want to mention here before we go too much over time that the next webinar will be April 18th. It's also a free webinar, and we'll talk about sales versus leasing models. So if you're
Ooh,
struggling
hot
to
topic.
decide, yeah, a lot of people try to, even after they've decided to get into the business, if they're a few years in, they're still kind of sometimes struggling with it. So I'll go over the
Yeah.
pros and cons of each one. What's good about sales, what's bad about sales, what's good about leasing, what's bad about leasing, and what we recommend. So I will send out the link to this this weekend along with the recording of this webinar. And one other takeaway I wanted to give you guys for coming to the webinar is a free month of the partnership program of the gold membership. So if you go to certifiedlights.com/partners, the link I sent in the chat, you can learn more about the partnership program and sign up. And if you use the code FREEMONTH as you're checking out, you get a free month of the partnership. So that essentially pays for your field training. Instead of having to, we usually charge $9.95 per person for our field training. And with this code, you get it for free. So you're already saving
That's a
a ton
great
of money.
deal.
Thank you. Yeah, and
That's
it's just
awesome.
for people that come to the webinar. So if you are interested in it, please let me know. The code will be open for a while. So if you want to meet with me before or Stacy, feel free to shoot us an email and we'll be happy to
Yeah.
do that. But that's just kind of our thank you to you for coming here, spending an hour with us on a Saturday. And yeah, that's us. So that's the webinar. I'll hang out. I'm sure Stacey will hang out here for a little bit longer. If you have any questions, please feel
Hmm.
free to stick around. But thank you
Right.
so much for attending.
Yeah, and before we wrap up, I just want to say really
Yeah,
quickly, take a moment to say thank you. A big thank you to Mateo Young and the entire team at Certified Lights for partnering with us with this webinar today, helping bring this information to the industry. It's so important. And Certified Lights has built such an incredible reputation in the Christmas lighting industry for producing like super high quality commercial and residential lighting products. They've done something that I really respect. Like they've also invested heavily in training and supporting their installers. And that's so important to me is that relationship and that customer service and their commitment to helping installers grow a stronger business is not just about selling the products. Of course, we want to sell the products. We want to keep that going and bring in the money. Of course, that's important. But it aligns perfectly with what we do at Red Sleigh Workshop because companies like Certified Lights, they help raise that standard of our entire industry by providing installers with the tools, the the resources and the support that they need to succeed. And so, Mateo, thank you again so much for your
of
partnership and being
course.
part of today's conversation. And thank you, everybody who joined us today. It's so exciting how much the commercial Christmas market is one of the biggest opportunities in the lighting industry right now. There's so many avenues to go down and so many ways to build it in the interactive, the animations, all those things. If you're coming to
RGB.
Transworld, you're going to see all of it. It's going to be so
Yeah.
rad because like the retail centers, the hotels, they're investing more and more every year to create these experiences. But installers who want to win are going to be the ones who are understanding how that industry works, and they're going to definitely want to know how to compete for these larger projects. And the only way to do that is to really, you know, learn, right? The only way to do that is
Yeah.
to learn. And
Yeah.
we're happy to help do that. And thank you so much for being here.
Yes, thank you so much, Stacy. Thank you for being here. Thank you for sharing. That's very true. Our business model is not charge you for training or charge you for kind of these things that maybe some other companies are doing as they're seeing this kind of success come through the industry. Our business model is structured around your growth. If you don't grow, we don't grow. And we have the experience, we have the resources, we have the support and the connections across the industry to help you.
Right.
So that's really our goal. We make money when you start to grow, and if you don't grow, we don't grow. So our success really comes from your success. And Stacy, I'm sure it's the same for Red Sleigh. So thank you all
100%.
for being
Yep.
here.
Mhm.
Stacy, thank you as well for being here.
Yep.
And hopefully we'll see you all April 18th.
Yes. Thank you so much.
All right. Thank you. Have a good one.